There has been an increasing amount of mechanics and heroes that have been laying dormant for a long time that have found new hidden power as the transition to Overwatch 2 took place. I talked about Hog in a previous video, and I think it's time to talk about the hero on Custer's favorite body pillow, Mercy. Mercy in her current state has been an issue in the game for a variety of reasons. A lot of it has to do with the playstyle that's promoted by her kit. I guess we'll start with the support passive, not Mercy's passive, although it is exactly the same as the support passive. When we did transition to Overwatch 2, we got new passives for each of the role, tank, DPS, and support. The support passive allowing them to heal while not in combat after a short time. How many times did I say passage that sentence? Passage? Too many times. Allowing heroes like Ana to heal herself without having to expend an ability, such as the bio grenade, meaning support players aren't now having to rely on each other to top each other up and make sure they're healthy going into the next fight, making support a little bit more independent. On top of being independent and having one less high HP hero pool to heal, because we have one less tank, it means that they are way more able to take space, have time to do damage, reposition, etc. Now onto Mercy's kit itself, not the passive, which has become an issue. At first glance, Mercy's kit, especially her Guardian Angel, her shift is on a 1.5 second cooldown, which would seem to promote hypermobility, dashing around the map, healing different people, and using it to get out of danger. This right now is the exact opposite of what happens. I mentioned before how supports don't really need to pay attention to each other as much anymore. Of course, when you are getting dove, of course you want to help out your other fellow support, making sure they stay alive, but you don't need to heal an extra tank, which is a high body of health. You only need to focus on one, and then your DPS and your other support player if they do need topping up. So not paying full attention means they can do other things, leaving most Mercy play consisting of either hiding around a corner, not in the line of sight of enemy hit scan, or someone to jump them, blue beaming a DPS, or just following a DPS around, a hyper safe playstyle that doesn't really interact with the rest of the game for the majority of the time. Now, there are obviously points in time that you won't be doing this, but far more often you are just kind of chilling out the way, just blue beaming a hit scan or a sojourn, for example, getting the maximum value out of that ability. Since giving an uninteractable damage boost that allows you to stand away from danger around a corner out of the enemy sightline, and it allows you to instantly res your DPS too, if they get killed from range. Since the card's time does not allow for the enemy team to counter, and even sometimes in close range, not able to kill the Mercy. You have to have supreme focus fire to stop a Mercy rezzing mid-fight, which happens more often than not. You really do have to be on your toes, which is, counterable, yes, but sometimes in the heat of battle in the mix, it's not quite possible to do so when cooldowns are being thrown left, right, and center. And there are some ways now to get a free resurrection out. See Suzu. This playstyle has a way higher percentage success rate than playing the Mercy the devs seemingly intended her to be played, using her Guardian Angel, like I mentioned before, to fly around the map, aiding the rest of the team, using that mobility to get out of danger as well. It is more beneficial to give damage boost to a DPS that now has way more firepower and safety than the other team's DPS if they don't have a pocket, tipping the scales way in the favor of the pocketed player, and the non-pocketed player will almost always lose that duel because the pocketed player's on-tap healing plus damage boost for 80% of that kind of duel, that interaction. Res has also gotten a lot more powerful in Overwatch 2, as it's harder to interrupt without an additional tank, and you bring in back 20% of your team's lives back to the battlefield almost instantly. It's a very, very quick ability to use in the grand scheme of things, which is one of the more frustrating parts about the kit. Completely undoing someone's hard work from a kill, just undoing a mistake, simply put. Damage boosting is also a slippery slope to go down when it is not used as an ult. There are many damage breakpoints in the game that need to be looked into while balancing and also making new heroes. Having one that is so easily applied, I think, is an issue. Sojourn, for example, did get nerfed, so she did an insta-kill from mid to long range with a headshot with a charge gun. Now, you don't need to worry about that, because the issue is super easily solved with a Mercy damage boost. I think changing Mercy is fairly simple on the surface of things, although damage boost will be a little bit more tricky, but we'll talk about the res first. If the devs really want to keep that theme of Mercy with the resurrection mechanic in the game, I think moving it to when you're using the ult and only using the ult would stop a lot of the out of LOS, mistake eraser, instant E pressing reses from occurring. I think this will take a lot of frustration away from the kit with just that small, simple change. Moving the res to the ult. Like I said, damage boost, a little bit more tricky. Maybe having some sort of charge mechanic where you have a heal. You have to heal a certain amount in order to dish out some increased damage on kind of a bar system. I think Moira's left click, but opposite, I guess. You have to heal to charge the bar up, and then you unleash the increased damage on whatever hero you choose to damage boost, and the bar goes down. Not having as much fuel in the tank as Moira, obviously, would be the perfect balance there. You'd have a lot less damage boost in that regard. Either that or heal X amount for X amount of damage increased. I think the former, having that charge bar, would be a lot easier to balance from that point. I think Mercy, in general, is at the point where she needs to be changed. The suggestions keep with the theme of the hero, so you're keeping the res and you're keeping the damage boost, but you are taking away the main frustrating aspects of the hero's kit, while also rewarding good play and good ult usage and good resurrection timing rather than having it up every single fight, turning a lot of them into 6v5s because of that resurrection mechanic. Let me know your thoughts down below on Mercy's current state, or your ideas for kind of changing the character, or how you feel about the character in general. I'm going to leave you this clip by KG, which I thought was quite funny.
Oh,